Katakuri ate the Azure Dragon Fruit, and his power approached that of the 4 Emperor Kaido. But as long as Big Mom is alive, Katakuri will always be just the Crown Prince. If he always stays under Big Mom, even if Katakuri eats the Azure Dragon Fruit, he would at most be the strongest Emperor deputy. But if he establishes himself as a king, his strength could reach the level of a 4 Emperor. From the perspective of Devil Fruit ranking, the animal-type fish fruit, mythical model Azure Dragon, is far superior to Katakuri's Paramecia-type Mochi Fruit. Even with such a disadvantaged ability, Katakuri still managed to play all kinds of tricks, catching Luffy completely off guard. In terms of talent, Kaido and Katakuri are both geniuses. At the age of 12, Kaido was already the strongest warrior in his own country. Katakuri awakened Conqueror's Haki at the age of 8 and was known as the strongest user of observation Haki, possessing the ability to see the future. In terms of talent, the two are on par. Kaido is known as the strongest creature, and this strongest creature should refer to his Azure Dragon form itself. In other words, whoever obtains the Azure Dragon Fruit becomes the strongest creature. Having eaten the Azure Dragon Fruit, Katakuri would not only be worthy of that title, but would also possess the strongest observation Haki. With his abilities stacking upon each other, his power would be immeasurable. Before eating any Devil Fruit, Kaido's strength in the Rock's Pirates should have only been at a mid to lower level. After all, the Rock's Pirates were the strongest crew of their time. Katakuri, in Land, was also the one only inferior to Big Mom. But with the Azure Dragon Fruit, Kaido dared to face the very peak of the world head-on. Meanwhile, even with the Mochi Fruit, Katakuri was still beneath Big Mom. That is to say, his position had already locked Katakuri's ceiling. If he chose to remain in Big Mom's crew, even after eating the Azure Dragon Fruit, he would at most be the strongest Emperor deputy, a minor boss on Luffy's path of growth. Even if his own strength surpassed Big Mom, Katakuri would never betray his mother. If he left Big Mom and founded his own pirate crew, then, having eaten the Azure Dragon Fruit, Katakuri's strength would surely surpass Kaido's. After all, there's a fundamental difference between working for family and creating one's own enterprise. Moreover, the two had different upbringings, which shaped their distinct personalities. Kaido always believed that the strong should rule the world, trying to ignite a world war, and his power was always used for destruction. But Katakuri, like Whitebeard, values his family, and his strength is used more for protection. Character determines destiny, and strength creates the future. As mentioned before, animal-type devil fruits harbor souls. They choose their own masters. Therefore, it was not that Kaido stole the Azure Dragon Fruit, but that the Azure Dragon Fruit chose Kaido. It can be guessed that after Big Mom said, "This fruit is for my child," by the time Katakuri grew into her strongest fighter, the Azure Dragon Fruit had already wanted to slip away. After all, a true man cannot remain under someone else forever.
With